So today's term, which Amanda has already written in, I can't believe it. We've never done this term before on the show. We've been on the air for 10 years and we've never actually taken the time to define this, but it's important to all of us. So the term is respite care. Let's take a look at what our actual definition for it is. It's probably not that bad. Temporary institutional care of a sick, elderly, or disabled person providing relief for their usual caregiver. And that's what the definition was from Oxford Languages. And it's not, I don't want to make fun of this. I just want to shove it into the ocean. Get everybody get behind me. We'll just shove this right out into the ocean because I don't think it aptly. If I'm a parent of someone, a 3-year-old that's on the spectrum, and we just got a diagnosis, and somebody says, "Oh, you should get respite care." If I look this up, I would run screaming for the mountains with my hair on fire because I wouldn't want temporary institutional care and my child wouldn't be sick, elderly, or disabled. What the heck? But here's the deal. Let's move on to our working definition and see if it is something that we would want. It's a short break for a caregiver. That's what it is. And that's why this is abso-freaking-lutely essential. We talked on the show the other day with the mom whose child is from her eyes, who is able to be no one is able to be awake 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and be completely focused on making sure that another person is okay. They don't make nurses work 24-hour shifts. Navy SEALs don't work 24-hour shifts. Well, maybe Navy SEALs do, but then they spell each other. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs a break. And if we don't get a break, we aren't our best selves for our kiddos. So most places here in the United States, and I know we have many people watching internationally, but most states here in the United States have a plan for caregivers to have respite. And respite means that a trained worker takes your child, usually it's in your home, and sometimes you can be in your home too, but in another room. And it's like, I mean, I don't want to diminish it and call it babysitting because I think then we want to run for the hills too and go, I can't have a typical babysitter come because my kid needs extra things. Respite says this person is going to be supposedly trained to be able to deal with your child's medical and behavioral needs. I know it doesn't always work out that way, but supposedly. And often there is financial support for that to happen. And in different states, it's a different amount. But here's the kicker. You could have a child or a teen or an adult and you could be taking care of them and you could go to every single care provider and unless you bring it up, it's possible you would never know it was available to you. Now let's think about that for a second. That is just so bass backwards, right? I here in California, we have the regional centers and you wouldn't know unless you knew. It's just like there's no billboards or signs anywhere that say, if you need help with your child, ask about regional center. You have to be on the inside track before you know that. Then you're at the regional center and you assume, oh, these people will tell me if there's something that I need to know. And some of them will, but some of them don't. And so I've met many a parent that you say, are you getting respite care? And they go, what is that? So I'm telling all of you, now you know, ask regularly. Am I eligible for respite care? And ask, are there different ways that you could do it? It took me years to find out that not only were we eligible for respite care, but that there were several different ways that we could do respite care. Like if I didn't have the time to go find somebody who was trained, I could sign up with an agency who would find somebody for me and they would pay the person. Or because I'm a control freak, I liked the other one, which was where I got to find the people, I got to make sure that they were trained, and then I would take care of their hours and they would give me money, an account to pay them with. And because I was a control freak, I wanted that level of control. But a friend of mine who was like, I can't take on one more thing and be in charge of this paperwork. I just want somebody to show up at the door. But both of us were able to be accommodated within the California respite care system. You have to ask for it. And it's hard. It's hard to get respite started because you got to find the right person. They got to be able to be there during the right hours. And getting the system started is always hard. I don't know anybody who was like, "Oh, it's just a switch I flick and suddenly I have really great respite care that comes." It doesn't work that way. But for people that I know that prioritize this and go, okay, I'm going to give up some of my time right now to get some of my time back later on, it was worth it. Now, many people say the system is so hard to navigate that they just say, I can't do that. I'm going to go to my friends and family and say, I need some help and support. You know what? That works too. And sometimes that's better, easier, faster, but you have to be willing to ask. And first, you have to be able to acknowledge that you can't do it 24/7. You just can't. No one can. This is not your fault. This is not a weakness in you. No one can do this 24/7. And even if we could, can we be honest for a second and say that it would not be best for our kiddos, our teens, and our adults? They need to have other people because you know what? We're not immortal. And all of this dovetails with what we're going to be talking about today with this amazing book. We are not going to live forever, and we need to start having a community that knows our kids, our teens, our adults that are on the spectrum, that understand, love, and can support them. And that starts with acknowledging that we can't do it all. This is the tough stuff. Everybody take a breath, give yourself a hug, rock if you need to, because this is hard stuff. And sometimes it literally, I'm not on the spectrum, but there are times when I find myself clutching my stomach and that, that movement helps me to calm myself down. So do what you need to do, but recognize that this is a benefit for our kids and it's a benefit for us. If you can step away and do something. Now, respite is not so that you can go to work. They won't pay for respite for you to go to work. Respite is for you to have a break. Some people take the break and they go take a bath. So they're still home, but they go in and they take a bath and take a book and have a moment to themselves. I used to have friends of mine from college. There were two really dear friends of mine from college who from time to time would say, I'm going to come and I'm going to give you a break. And I would go to the local scrapbooking store down the street and take my little rolling scrapbooking thing. And I would just sit there for an hour and I would scrapbook, but I would come back a better parent. And people would make fun of me that, that's what I wanted to do with my free time. One of my friends said, if the day ever comes when I need a break and my break is to go do scrapbooking for an hour, she was like, just kill me. And of course, then she had kids and stood. Thanks for watching Autism Live. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.